Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we are covering the adventures of Andy Hardy. If the character in your screen looks familiar to you, then I would let you know that Andy Hardy is the inspiration for the popular character Archibald Andrews, or better known as Archie of Archie Comics. Today we have a really interesting story for you, dear viewers. Before we begin, help us grow our channel by clicking the like and subscribe button. Our first story begins with our titular character Andy Hardy strolling to his friend's place. Elwood asked me to drop by his place. Wonder what's up. As soon as Andy got to the front of Elwood's house, his friend called out to him from the second story of his house. Walk in and make yourself at home, I'll be down in a minute. Okay. As Andy enters, he spots a beautiful lady with raven black hair sitting on a couch. Well, hello to you. You're new in the neighborhood, aren't you? Nice day, isn't it? Not getting a single reply from the lady, Andy's friend came into the panel. Hi, Andy. I see you've met Madeline. Yeah, but it's been a one-sided conversation so far. Elwood suddenly yanked Madeline's hair, revealing that she was actually a doll. Oh, Madeline's the quiet type. Yipes. She's a clothing store dummy, you know. She is why, of course, golly, they sure make those gals look real. My uncle owns a clothing store here in town and he just bought this new dummy for his display windows. The manufacturer must have delivered her here by mistake. That's why I called you. Wondered if you'd mind taking Madeline down to his store. Andy bowed like a gentleman in front of the doll. How about it, honey, may I have the pleasure? Andy carried the doll outside to his car. You know Elwood, she's a pretty cute looking number at that. To which his friend replied. Andy, you're a regular Sir Galahad. The store's at 710 East 7th, Andy. Andy drove the doll down the street, and because of her realistic features, Andy got noticed by some guys. Wow. Look at the smooth dish Andy's taking out. Gosh, what a looker. Andy then put his arms around the doll and gave him a kiss on the cheeks. Hey, look. He kissed her. Love this situation. Are you cozy, Madeline dear? Andy had to stop his car for a red light when he got spotted by his girlfriend with his arms still around the doll. Andrew Hardy. Polly. Angered by what she saw, Polly walked away with her back against Andy. Bye, Polly. She's just a dummy. I'm not interested at all at her mental capacity. Good day, Andrew. Polly, you've got to let me explain. Look, Polly. Andy grabbed the doll's head upwards, detaching its head from her body and frightening an old lady passing by. I said good day, Andrew. The old lady started hitting on Andy with her umbrella. Young man, that's no way to treat a lady. Rats. No wonder men join the Foreign Legion. Andy grumbled as he reached his destination. Elwood's uncle was happy to see his doll in one piece. Thank you, young man. Say, while you're here, I wonder if you'd mind delivering a few models to my other store. I'll pay you $1. Note that this was in 1954, so $1 back then would be 10 by now. Later, Andy's car was full of feminine dolls. There, that should do it. Take these to 810 First Street. Yes, sir. As Andy drove to his destination, he was once again spotted by the neighborhood boys. There's Andy again. Wow, what does that man have? He's got a car full of yummies. Did you see that harem Andy's carting around? Zillions of dolls. They stick to him like flypaper, said one of the boys unironically. Rumors around town spread immediately. It's all over town, Polly. He's been seen with scads of beautiful girls. I'm sure I'm not in the least interested. Boo-hoo-hoo. Polly cried in her bed while making a pose with her legs. Andy doesn't care for me anymore. Meanwhile, Andy was running around his home to call Polly. What's happening, son? A dozen different fellows called you. Something about wanting to get them dates. It's a long story, Mom. May I use the phone? Hello, Polly, Now you just gotta listen to reason. Don't you dare talk to me, you Don Juan. Unfortunately for Andy, Polly was not willing to listen to him. As Andy was moping with his hands on his face, his friend Elwood appeared into the panel. "Hi, Andrew. Everything go off shipshape with that dummy. I heard that you made another delivery for my uncle too. You and your uncle's dummies. Because of those blasted models, Polly won't even speak to me. You've got to explain to her that they're not real." "Sure, Andrew. Hello, Miss Polly. This is Elwood Undershod. I just wanted to correct a false impression. Sound convincing? Those girls Andrew has been seen with aren't girls at all. They're darlings models." Polly's angry voice can be heard from the telephone. "I don't care if they are darlings. Goodbye. Big help you are." Andy angrily chased Elwood out of the house, throwing a book and shoe at him. "But Andrew, how was I to know that she's mistake darling for an adjective instead of a proper noun?" Andy was moping again, but his mother came to give him some advice. "I'll never forget once when I was mad at your father. I went into the bedroom and locked the door. I was so angry. Your father was right in that argument and insisted that I open the door. Well, I couldn't give in. It could only end in one way." "How was that, Mom?" "He knocked down the door. He was wonderful. A quick reminder of how flimsy American homes are made. By George, why not? Now and then, that strong arm stuff is necessary." Andy leaped into his car with a determined face. "It's no use trying to explain your wolfish actions to me, Andrew Hardy. I won't listen," Polly shouted to Andy as he marched towards her home. "Oh yes, you will. Okay Polly, open up. You're going to listen to reason." Andy pulled as hard as he can on Polly's door. "Go away. Go back to your harem, you sultan. You are asking for it, woman." With the strength of a horny teen, Andy pushed his way towards the door, but due to the much momentum, Andy ran his head straight into a radiator heater. Oh my goodness. For some reason, seeing Andy's failed display of masculinity awoken Polly's maternal side, making her fall in love with him again. Seems like Andy's mother's advice was helpful after all. "Oh, you poor darling. Just when you were being so masterful too. Oh, what a clonk on my conch. Those weren't girls at all. Just store window dummies for Darling's department store." Andy was finally able to explain his side of the story. "You were right and I was wrong, Andy dear. In a way, I'm glad it happened. Boy, were you jealous." "Ha ha. Me, jealous? I most certainly was not. No offense, Polly. I just meant that you must be real gone on me to act like you did." Oof, of all the conceited. Unfortunately for Andy, he just couldn't get a break that day. Not conceited. But facts are facts. Boy, for a while you were impossible. I was impossible. Goodbye, Andrew Hardy, goodbye. And you can have your horseshoe nail ring too." Andy walked out as Polly threw a ring at him. In the last panel we can see Andy trying to enlist for the army. "Sorry, young man. You'll have to wait a few years." What did you think of this story? How many similarities to Archie comics can you spot? List them down in the comments below.